presents an anthem for our times, which brings alive the idea of India meets India. The germination of this thought stems from Jab Hindustan Mile Hindustan Se, bridging Bharat's vast expanse across landscapes and cultures, from north to south, from east to west, from mountain to the ocean. There is a unifying force that keeps us all moving forward. Desh Ka Tire, JK Tire. A compelling and memorable film which highlights the role of roads and highways as a unifying force, one that connects us, 140 crore Indians, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. The song has been beautifully sung by Mohit Chauhan with music composed by Shamir Tandon and lyrics by Amit Gujral. The film has been brought to life by renowned director Bharat Bala. At a time when we are all experiencing the festival of democracy, that is the Indian elections, it is time to soak in the colors and stripes of this country. Ladies and gentlemen, JK Tire presents Jab Hindustan Mile Hindustan Se. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in his parliamentary constituency of Varanasi, and it's on the eve of his filing his nomination from this seat for the third time. His roadshow began with the garlanding of the statue of Pandit Madan Mohan Malaviya at the Singh Gate of the BHU at about 5 p.m. and concluded just a few minutes before we started this edition of The Right Stand. The city of Kashi put up a show for its son, whom they have embraced and who has adopted the city. And he said, I have dedicated myself to Ma Ganga and to Kashi. PM Modi was accompanied by the UP CM, Yogi Adityanath, as he greeted a sea of supporters who'd been waiting for hours to catch a glimpse of their Prime Minister. People from different communities welcomed the PM at 100 different points across 11 zones during this entire roadshow. It was truly a glimpse of mini India. But why is the Prime Minister so popular? The Prime Minister held that 5-kilometre-long roadshow amidst blowing of conches, sounds of drum beats and chanting of mantras. An ode to Kashi was also witnessed. There was Shehnai rendition by the kin of Ustad Bismillah Khan. Shankhnad and Damru Dal were heard at various points. Old and new pictures of Varanasi's developments also adorned the sides. Pictures of Kashi celebrities were plastered across the city. Ode to Pandit Madan Mohan Malaviya, Pandit Kishan Maharaj, tribute to Tulsi Das ji, Kabir Das and Sant Ravidas. All of this adorned that entire route, nearly 6 kilometre long. Prime Minister Modi's connect with Kashi has also become iconic by now. He's left an indelible mark on the oldest city in the world, with especially the unimaginable work around the Kashi Vishwanath Dham and that corridor. Let's take a look at some of the biggest projects in his constituency over the last 10 years, 2 years of his two terms of PM Modi as MP from Varanasi. First, of course, is the Kashi Vishwanath corridor. It may just be worth 800 crore, but the impact that it's had on Kashi and its denizens is one that will be seen over centuries. going forward. PM has also laid the foundation stone of projects worth more than 12,000 crore rupees. LPG bottling plant by HPCL in Sevapuri, Sant Ravidas Museum worth about 62 crore rupees, the Sigra Sports Stadium Phase 1 and District Rifle Shooting Range has also come up, construction of the Varanasi Ranchi Kolkata Expressway Package 1, the electric catamaran vessel provided by IWAI, the rejuvenation of ponds and redevelopment of parks. Of course, the mood on ground is that a hat-trick is pakka for the PM, but it could be perhaps a historic margin, greater than what's been witnessed in the last two elections. 2019, he won by more than 6,74,000 votes, ladies and gentlemen. This time they say the gap could be more than 8 lakh. In 2014, he won this with a 56% vote share. Other contenders left far behind, with the Aam Aadmi Party trumping the Congress, which was reduced to a single digit. Interestingly, till then, the BJP had been winning with vote share of about 30 to 33%, but 56%. PM, massive jump, 25% in the BJP's vote share. 5 years later, that vote share increased even more, by 7% more. 2019, it touched 63%. This time the AAP was not in the fray, but Samajwadi Party was. AAP's vote share went to Samajwadi Party and Congress, and both of whom witnessed an increase but were distant second and third. So clearly the Prime Minister has won the hearts of the people of Kashi, who come out and say, 2/3 se bhi zyada se jeetenge, 5 lakh aaj aaye hain, 5 lakh kal aayenge. That's what the ground voices were telling us when we spoke with them earlier this evening. So PM is out there, but is this a larger message too? Those 400 Paar doubters, are they seeing these?
हमारे पास विश्व का सर्वाधिक सर्वशक्तिशाली नेता है और हम लोग अति प्रसन्न है, काशीवासी अत्यधिक प्रसन्न है। बनारस में समझ लीजिए, बनारस की पब्लिक मोदी जी की पूरी तरह से फैन है, बहुत अच्छी तरह से।
हिंदुओं को इतना गर्व से भरने का काम मोदी ने किया है। हम चाहते हैं कि जब तक वो रहे, बार बार हमारे प्रधानमंत्री बने।
I just feel that under Modi ji's leadership, India has become a powerhouse and we've got a good global recognition.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी हैट्रिक करेगी और करेगी। ये मोदी कहता है इसलिए करेगी ऐसा नहीं। देश के 140 करोड़ देशवासियों ने तय कर लिया है, इसलिए 400 पार होना है।
So the roadshow is over, ladies and gentlemen. In a short while from now, we should get visuals of Prime Minister Narendra Modi inside the Kashi Vishwanath Dham, offering the puja to Adi Vishweshwar. What the program is for the morning of Tuesday, let's try and get a sense of it with Siddhant. Siddhant, you've been tracking this roadshow. 5 lakh was the estimated turnout. Is the PM, was he able to keep schedule? And this is after a slew of interviews in Patna to reporters, having engagements through the day, that he touches down in Kashi and does nearly about a 3.5 hour roadshow, and now puja inside Kashi, the Vishwanath temple.
Well, that's right, Anand. Going by PM's schedule, by now PM should be inside the Vishwanath temple for the pujan, as you rightly pointed out. And trust me, Anand, today was complete madness on the road of Varanasi. In fact, we were doing bulletins at that point in time, and you know, the craze that I witnessed today cannot be explained in words. More than 5 lakh people, Anand, and could be even more than that. And tomorrow also in the morning, PM is likely to go to the Dashashmekh Ghat. He's also going to take a cruise ride in river Ganga. Post that, he is going to seek darshan of the Kotwal of Varanasi,
Kal Bhairav.
And after which he will be going to file the Kal Bhairav. After which he will file the nomination. And most important one, Anand, post that he is going to meet Karyakartas. So a local level Karyakarta told me, Anand, and he told me not to mention it, but I'm mentioning it here. So the capacity of the hall where Prime Minister is taking the meeting is less than 50,000, and the Karyakartas, those who are excited to meet Prime Minister, is more than 50,000. Now it's up to BJP district unit that how they are going to handle tomorrow's meet and greet of Karyakartas with Prime Minister. But what I am told is that it's going to be very challenging when Karyakartas will meet Prime Minister, because the capacity is of 50,000 and the Karyakartas, the list of Karyakartas are more than 50,000. So that is a level of excitement, Anand, and I have never witnessed this grand road show of anyone, not even Prime Minister Modi ever before, what I witnessed today in Varanasi. Clearly, this time's margin is going to be more than 8 lakh, Anand.
More
And
than
this is
8 lakhs
what,
in Kashi itself.
The
But
analyst,
around what time, quickly just Siddhant,
Yes.
what time is the Prime Minister going to start on Tuesday morning?
Well, we can expect him to start by 9 in the morning, Anand. This is what we have been told, and there are a lot of things lined up for him. Pujan at Dashwashmekh Ghat, then a cruise ride which Prime Minister will take, then a darshan at Kal Bhairav, the Kotwal of Varanasi. उनकी इच्छा के बिना कुछ भी काशी में नहीं होता है. वहाँ आना है तो सर झुकाना, and Prime Minister knows that very well post that nomination. और उसके बाद कार्यकर्ताओं से मुलाकात.
Right. Thank you for that, Siddhant. It's been a long day, and it's going to be yet another early start for you and the other teammates from the News 18 network who are on ground in Kashi. Thank you very, very much for your update. And we'll get you those pictures from inside the temple as soon as they are available. For the moment, the Prime Minister, after the roadshow, is expected to go in. Now, is there perhaps a greater discussion on the Kashi Vishwanath Dham and the way forward? Or is the puja going to be a private affair for the Prime Minister and not for the cameras? And it will all be where the Prime Minister is available, the next or visible, is going to be Tuesday morning. But the larger question, and let's bring in our guests on that, if this is what Varanasi is laying out for the Prime Minister, where reporters are saying that this is unprecedented even for the Prime Minister, the kind of turnout. People from all walks of life across the length and breadth of Bharat were present there, and they came to attend the rally. They didn't steer clear of it, but they came to attend. Now, is this a message for those who are doubting this 400 Paar claim? Earlier in the day, the PM was in Patna, where he spoke to a lot of the reporters across who generally follow the Prime Minister's office's beat. And there again, there was a solid confidence that came across that it's going to be 400 Paar to pakka hai ji. So that's something which he's told multiple channels and multiple people. Now, is this all hubris? Is it hyperbole? Charu Pragya, national spokesperson of the BJP, with us. Veer Sanghvi, senior journalist and author, and who's going to be through this election journey with us here at the News 18 network. We also have Abhishek Banerjee, author and columnist, and Lokesh Jindal, political analyst. Namaste and Jai Hind to everybody. Thank you very, very much. Abhishek Banerjee, the markets were shaking a bit. Rumor mills were abuzz. Oh, it's all going south for the BJP. Nothing's working. There's a massive erosion in the vote share also. Forget 400, they're not even getting to 300. All this talk's been doing the round for the last 36 hours. What does Varanasi do to settle that doubt?
Yeah, and I think the one thing that the opposition has perfected over the last 3 or 4 years is the art of the social media rumor. And as you can see, that is fully at play in this election. Even back in December, there was this idea that the Congress is winning all 5 states, or at the very least they're winning 3 or 4. But we saw exactly what happened. To me, what is remarkable about this election is that this is the first time, I think in maybe 20, 30 years, that there is no debate even on which is going to be the largest party after the election, right? Is there anybody who seriously believes that the Congress can win more seats than the BJP? There is nobody so crazy in this country. And if you look at the top 5 states in the country, the 5 biggest states, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, then West Bengal, then Bihar, then Tamil Nadu. Together, I added these up. These account for 249 Lok Sabha seats. And if you think about it, the Congress might not get 10 seats out of these 249. So if you just do the arithmetic, on the other hand, I mean, the BJP, it's going to sweep Uttar Pradesh. It's going to put up very solid performances in Maharashtra. It's a big challenger in Bengal. It will do extremely well in Bihar. and maybe it will even open an account in Tamil Nadu. So it tells you how much the gap between the two parties has become. So if you just look at these successive elections, in 2014, people were like, will BJP manage to cobble together a coalition government? Is it possible? By 2019, they were saying, can they retain the majority? Now the rumor mongering is that, well, they might not get 400 seats. I mean, the expectations are changing so much. So, every election has a characteristic. Look at the rumor mongering in this election. It's that, they'll not get 400. Last time the rumor, they'll not manage their majority. If you go back to 2014, they were saying, Modi is such a polarizing figure. How will he get enough allies to reach the 272 mark? So see the change that happened in 10 years.
In some cases, they also got the metric right. They got it right in Himachal. They got it right in Karnataka. So at that time, those were not rumors. They manifested themselves. So they got it right when it came to Tamil Nadu and the Tamil Nadu elections. They got it right when it came to the Bengal Assembly elections. At various times, they've got it right. We've got pictures of the Prime Minister from inside the temple, and he is sitting there, and that's the traditional position where he sits and then he offers that puja. It's a privilege to be able to have witnessed that and perform that puja also, to be able to go and do that darshan. This is the Shivalinga that was installed by Ahilyabai Holkar. This is not the original Adi Vishweshwar. So this is the Shivling that was installed there and kept there and that was put back and restored and placed there by Ahilyabai Holkar. Interestingly, Nandi is actually looking away from this Shivling and it's looking at a different direction. But that matter currently is sub judice. There is a lot that's to be spoken around Gyanvapi and Adi Vishweshwar. But the Kashi Vishwanath corridor has changed Kashi's fortunes. It's put Kashi back in the spotlight across the world. More number of tourists have visited Kashi compared to some of the hottest tourist destinations, not only in India but across the world. Veer Sanghvi, your thoughts on the rumor mongering, on the roadshow today, and does it settle doubts?
Well, Anand, several things. I think some of them are completely obvious. The first is that Mr. Modi is a man of incredible energy. As you just pointed out, he's gone to Patna, he's given interviews, he's over here doing this roadshow. I can think of no other politician in the history of India who has his commitment and his energy. I think people realize that. Secondly, when it comes to Varanasi, though Mr. Modi is a Gujarati, I think the people of Varanasi have adopted him. He's become the favorite son of that constituency. The kind of response he's evoked, the kind of visuals you were showing are unprecedented. I think you have to acknowledge that. The third is that in many areas in the Hindi belt and many states in the Hindi belt, we actually sometimes underestimate Mr. Modi's popularity. When the UP election happened and they won a record successive term, people said, it's because Yogi Adityanath is so popular. I don't think so. Maybe he is popular, but it was essentially a vote for Mr. Modi. It was the same thing in Madhya Pradesh, which many pundits and rumormongers, you'd call them, had written off and said that the Congress was going to win. The fact that the BJP pulled it off, and pulled off what? A landslide, was almost entirely due to the faith that people, and BJP voters in particular, had in Mr. Modi personally. I don't think anybody can dispute these, nor can anybody dispute, as Abhishek said, that the BJP will be the largest single party and I think will form the government no matter what anyone may say. That leaves only one thing in doubt. I have never actually understood why he went on with this 400 Paar. For anybody to win 3 elections in a row is amazing. If you remember, the UPA after 2 terms in power was polished off by the voters. The fact that Mr. Modi seems not to be facing anti-incumbency is incredible. Whether he gets 400 or not, he's going to form the government, he's going to get a substantial majority. As to whether Varanasi makes any difference to the doubters, I don't think so, because I think they will say he was always going to win in UP, he was always going to win in Varanasi. The doubts are about Bengal, about Karnataka, about all of South India, perhaps about Maharashtra. And no matter how much people love him in Varanasi, I don't think those doubters will be silenced.
But you believe that setting this benchmark, Veer Sanghvi, of 370 for the BJP and 400 Paar, 400 Paar, was that hubris? Was that over-ambitious? Or is the BJP or the Prime Minister, has he smartly shifted the goalpost, saying you are going to fault me for not getting to 400? So are you going to say 350 is bad? How would you look at that?
Yeah, oh, exactly. I don't think he needed to set that target, because all his opponents now have to say is not that he's going to win a record third term, he's going to win a substantial majority, but hey, where is the 400? I mean, the 400 is just an arbitrary number. The important thing is going to win third election after so many years and decades of hung parliaments, and he's going to win it substantially. That is the achievement.
Lokesh Jindal, your thoughts?
Well, if you look at the present scenario, we come across a lot of questions that remain unanswered. The BJP is yet to come out with a solution with respect to the farmers' issue. We see in Haryana, the BJP government is on shaky ground. You never know when we will have a no confidence motion moved. In Punjab, the BJP is shaky with respect to the 13 seats. Coming south, if you talk about Tamil Nadu, we saw Annamalai searching for excuses, claiming that there were certain omissions in the electoral roll. That's why he might face a verdict that's not favorable. In Kerala, BJP did not perform well. Same is the scenario with Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka. In Maharashtra, BJP is grappling with the issue of the Maratha quota, which it is yet to find with a solution. Shiv Sena is, we have more public support to the Shiv Sena belonging to Uddhav Thackeray. So Congress is emerging stronger. There is a lower voter turnout. There is this Rajput issue, which has emerged as a major challenge for the BJP. Entire Western Uttar Pradesh, BJP is finding it difficult to woo the Rajput voters. So we see there is a farmer agitation. And then with respect to certain regions in the east, Manipur issue is still fresh. People of Northeast have not forgotten it. All these issues are not answered yet. Now with respect to the roadshow at Varanasi, even if the Prime Minister wins with the 75% voter share or 85% vote share, but still Varanasi is going to send only one representative to the parliament. The other constituencies, the issues are different, the voters are different, the candidate is different. So with one constituency, you cannot generalize the electoral outcome of the entire polls that are taking place. BJP has a long road to travel, and given the lower voter turnout, I see it as a major cause of worry for BJP.
Okay.
Because yes.
As of now, 66% is the average across the three phases. The third phase also, fourth phase also seems to be doing it at the somewhere hovering around that number. We'll have to wait for the Election Commission of India to say whether it hits that average of 66% or if it is more than that, because the turnout has been far more encouraging compared to the first three phases. The other part is, sir, every time it's a critical phase and there is a phase that's happening, the Prime Minister is out in the thick of the action, doing a rally and doing something which is going to energize the party, energize the voter, and keep him there in prominence in terms of the prominence. Today, fourth phase is polling. At 5 p.m. he starts this mega roadshow into 90 minutes, the last critical 90 minutes to 120 minutes. The Prime Minister is out there showing this one, and this is going to be viewed across the country, even increase in those places which are going to polls. Varanasi goes to vote only on the 1st of June. Where are the opposition leaders and what are they doing is something which somebody needs to think in terms of poll strategy or campaign strategy. But Charu Pragya, there is a laundry list of things that Lokesh Jindal just listed out, saying you've not got all of these right. How are you even going to get to 400 bar? पहले ये सारे प्रॉब्लम से तो बेड़ा पार करो.
Har Har Mahadev. You've actually saved the best last. Let's begin by explaining Modi ji's politics, both in Varanasi and in the country. He works with both Vishwas and Vikas. He works for both Dharm and development. And these are combinations which India needs going forward. This is what India needs to become Viksit Bharat by 2047. That's our dream. That's all we think about, all we talk about 24/7. That's what the Prime Minister reminds us every single day. And I can draw many comparisons, but let me merely draw two here, Anand, and that's going to answer some of Lokesh's questions. Kashi Vishwanath corridor in only 2 years has seen a footfall of over 13 crore tourists to Varanasi. 13 crores. And to just give an estimate of what that means to our viewers, it's 8 times the amount of tourists that visit Goa every year. 8 times. That's how big a destination Varanasi has become. And it's a comfortable destination because it's transformed in the last 10 years. Every single thing, from an international airport to a state-of-the-art railway station to wonderful parks to making sure the lighting is heritage, CCTV coverage, I can go on and on and on. And this is what Prime Minister Modi has done. And just look less than 250 kilometers away to the area of Raebareli, which has been a Congress bastion for 75 years. Raebareli, which has been ruled by the Gandhi Parivar for 75 years. Where is Raebareli today and where has Kashi reached in merely 10 years? This is exactly why people are out on the streets hailing PM Modi as their son, as their father figure, as their brother, as somebody who's going to take India into a glorious future, because he's working with the vision. He's working harder than the most hardworking Karyakarta of Bharatiya Janata Party. Who of us can afford to be lazy when we have a leader like that who's tireless, who's working round the clock, who's inspirational in every speech he gives, when he's greeted with both smiles and tears and aartis and jyotis being lit in his name and drums being played out. You know, it's incredible. Mantras are being chanted both for his victory and for his protection. It's incredible to see. I'm honestly telling you, every time I see our Prime Minister interact with the people of our country, I get goosebumps. That's the love that he has. And do you think lazy political leaders can beat that? I don't think so. So Congress can sit on any kind of a high horse and do rumor mongering. But the fact is, elections are not won on Twitter. You can count the number of likes your leader will get on a Twitter post or the number of trolls you have made over the last few years. But that does not translate into votes. What translates into votes is the homes you've given to the poor. Jal Se Nal, which is reaching house after house, year after year, by making sure that women are looked after, their elderlies are given treatments for free, their children go to a good school. The number of colleges have increased in our country. It's now more than 1100 universities, medical colleges going up, opportunities right here in India. No kid wants to go abroad. You know, Anand, I was at an interaction just 2 nights ago in Delhi, and it was in a very fancy locality of Delhi where everybody traditionally would send their children abroad to study. The thing that I saw change in the last few years is everyone saying that my son, my daughter doesn't want to travel abroad anymore. They want to work here in India. They want to start a company. They're looking for funding. The government is helping. That's the change Bharatiya Janata Party and Modi ji has got to our country.
Well, how much of it is a change and how much of work left to be done or desired to be done?
Oh, I'm not saying Ram Rajya has arrived,
no.
but Ram Lalla is finally home. Ram Rajya will also come, Anand. Why not?
Marrying dharma and development even in your political argument and lexicon, that's also something that BJP national spokespersons have trained very well in. So I'll give credit where it is due, but is that going to translate into votes? We'll have to wait and watch. The other aspect is that if the captain is working very, very hard, is every foot soldier and every member of the team working equally hard? We'll have to ask the Karyakartas and the leaders of Karnataka. We'll have to ask the Karyakartas and leaders of Andhra Pradesh what they have been doing over the Paar Karyakartas and leaders of Kerala, what they've been doing over the last 5 years. What's been happening in Andhra Pradesh over the last 5 years? What's been happening in some of the other states also in the last 5 years? So there are a lot of questions to be asked. Himachal Pradesh, what happened? Despite having such Bahubalis who are part of the BJP leadership and also the Modi cabinet, what happened to the election results in Himachal Pradesh? A lot of things can be asked because politics is always about possibilities. But Abhishek, is the BJP being arrogant, overconfident when they continue to insist on 400 Paar? Was it deliberate that they recalibrated their strategy, dropped 400 Paar altogether between phase 1 and phase 2, and it's coming back only on phase 4 aggressively?
Yeah, I do believe that after the first phase there, when they heard that, turnout has dropped like 6, 7, 8%, there was definitely a sense of panic inside the BJP because, they always have the memory of 2004. That nightmare is always playing in their heads. But now that, over the next few days, it turned out that, the turnout had actually dropped only 3% or something like that. I think that was the final number. Then the next time it was 2% and it was like 1%. So they did constantly calibrate their strategy. They took out 400 Paar, but I noticed that in the last 1 or 2 days, in fact last 3 or 4 days, they have brought back that turn. Now, is it hubris? I mean, you can call it hubris if you want, or you can call it, an emotional atyachar of the opposition, because many of the people in the opposition were like, we'll not let you reach 400 Paar. But that magic figure is 272, yeah. It is not 400. So, if you are focused on that, and one thing that I really want to add is that this might be the first election in India's history that Congress is not fighting as a truly national party. As I mentioned, those 5 big states, they might not get 10 seats. And so state after state, they keep giving up. Now, just this person was saying Varanasi, even if he wins by 80%, he'll get 1 vote. See, this is the one. You see, this is the wrong thinking of those who are opposed to the BJP. Every seat is important. You see, when Amethi used to be a Congress stronghold, the BJP people, they went there and said, "Kya stronghold? We will win this seat." But you see the mentality of the people on the other side, that they will say that, so what if we win? It's just 1 seat. As see, one seat karke in a cricket match, like, you keep conceding singles, and then you will see the required run rate keeps mounting, and you are out of the game. And that is what has happened to the Congress over decades. Then, every few days they'll say, okay, 1 more state gone, so who cares?
Right.
It's only 1 state, yeah, we'll find in some other state. This is the problem.
Right. Veer Sanghvi, final comment?
Well, I think, Anand, that what you have to remember is that, as we pointed out, there are many issues that remain unanswered. There are many memories of things like, say, the whole COVID crisis that should hurt Mr. Modi. But nothing actually seems to hurt Mr. Modi. He's Teflon coated, because it's almost always a conflict between issues, problems at the local level, etc., and Mr. Modi's personality. So far, at least, Mr. Modi's personal popularity, his personality, has been enough to carry the BJP through. Right. What the doubters are saying is that this time it's not going to be enough, and he's worried, which is why his rhetoric has become more communally charged, which is why they seem panicky after the first phase. I don't know is the honest answer. What I do know is that nothing Mr. Modi does is entirely spontaneous. Correct. He depends on ground reports, he depends on polling. When he changed his strategy after the first phase and went for a very communally charged campaign, I imagine he was told it was working because he kept with it. Now that he seems more confident, I imagine he's been told that the polling shows he's doing okay.
So it's based on feedback that the strategy is recalibrated. The largest party in the world, the party that's sitting on a huge majority, so. Yeah. Is the one that is going to be nimble on its feet, and it's going to react to ground feedback faster than those who are the challengers and who need to move twice as fast. Quite a lot that needs to be written home. And when the opposition is actually talking about Uttaradhikari ki 25 ke baad kaun hoga, that means they've already conceded 24. It reflects on the arguments there. We'll park it there. We'll take this forward soon. Thank you very, very much to all our panelists. We're going to take a very short break. When we come back, an interesting conversation with Mr. Milind Deora. He's not on the ticket this time, but he may be doing something substantial and very, very important. More importantly, why did he leave the Congress? Merit makes the way for mediocrity, and I moved out, he says. Come back to the CNN News 18 Federal Bank Primetime Studio and find out. Stay with us.
तीन सीटें अपने दम पर पाई। हिंदी भाषी राज्यों में एक तरह से बहुत बड़ी सीटें भारतीय जनता पार्टी को मिली, लेकिन इस बार क्या वो रिपीट हो पाएगा? और
आप देखिए
जी,
भारतीय जनता पार्टी, जो आप इतनी पुरानी सोच के साथ बैठे हुए हो, गोवा
जी,
ये क्या हिंदी भाषी है क्या? गुजरात हिंदी भाषी है क्या? महाराष्ट्र हिंदी भाषी है क्या? असम हिंदी भाषी है क्या? बंगाल हिंदी भाषी है क्या? कर्नाटक हिंदी भाषी है क्या? आज भारतीय जनता पार्टी पूरे देश में है, और पूरे देश में मैं कह रहा हूं, भारतीय जनता पार्टी हैट्रिक करेगी और करेगी। और ये मोदी कहता है इसलिए करेगी ऐसा नहीं, देश के 140 करोड़ देशवासियों ने तय कर लिया है, इसलिए 400 पार होना है। और भारतीय जनता पार्टी भी अपने सारे रिकॉर्ड तोड़ेगी और एनडीए भी अपने सारे रिकॉर्ड तोड़ेगी।
तेलुगु स्टेट्स में आपको क्या लगता है? आंध्रा में,
आंध्र एंड तेलंगाना
जी,
इस चुनाव में साउथ सबसे बड़ा सरप्राइज देगा। केरल, तमिलनाडु, पुडुचेरी, कर्नाटका, आंध्र, तेलंगाना,
विपक्ष को भी
सभी
साउथ से उम्मीद है बहुत ज्यादा।
सभी में ऐतिहासिक परिवर्तन आपको नजर आएगा और बहुत बड़ी सिद्धि
जी
भारतीय जनता पार्टी और एनडीए के पक्ष में रहेगी
जी।
ये बिल्कुल साफ नजर आता है और मैं मानता हूं
जी
कि तेलंगाना क्लीन स्वीप
An unprecedented and historic election. A vote that decides Bharat's quest for greatness.
A mandate that paves the way for 1 billion aspirations.
A verdict the world is watching closely.
A battle for a rising Bharat's glorious future. Battle for Bharat. Elections equals CNN News 18.
जिन राज्यों में राज्यों के चुनाव है वहां भी जहां भारतीय जनता पार्टी है वो रिपीट करेगी, जहां एनडीए है वो नई सरकार बनेगी और इसलिए इन सभी राज्यों में
जी
सरकार बनना तय है। आंध्र तेलंगाना में भी क्लीन स्वीप होने वाला है।
एक मैं पूरे देश घूम रहा हूं चुनाव के लिए। एक चीज मैंने देखी, इस चुनाव में नैरेटिव बार बार बदले। पहले नैरेटिव आया रिजर्वेशन का, फिर आया नैरेटिव की बीजेपी के लीडर्स के फेक वीडियो चलाए गए। नैरेटिव बार बार बदल रहे हैं, कैसे देखते हैं आप इसको?
इसको आप नैरेटिव नहीं कह सकते हैं। चुनाव का नैरेटिव एक ही है और वो है फिर से एक बार मोदी सरकार।
जी,
चुनाव
मोदी
का
फैक्टर है इस चुनाव का।
चुनाव का नैरेटिव एक ही है, अब की बार 400 पार। नैरेटिव वही है, लेकिन
एक नैरेटिव
जो लोग हताश हैं, निराश हैं, जो मुद्दों की तलाश में हैं,
जी
उनके लिए बार बार वो खोज रहे हैं कैसे टिके, कैसे लोगों के बीच में रहे, इसलिए उनको ये खेल करना पड़ रहा है। लेकिन वो नीचे तक लोगों को बात पहुंचा नहीं पा रहे हैं।
लेकिन उत्तर से दक्षिण तक, पूरब से पश्चिम तक एक नैरेटिव है मोदी जी, और ये हमारा एनालिसिस है, वो है नरेंद्र मोदी। मोदी एक नैरेटिव है, इस पर आप क्या कहना चाहते हैं? आप पर बहुत बड़ा एक प्रेशर है कि आप अपनी तीसरी टर्म में वापस आए।
He's in the thick of things with respect to Prachar. There's also been a shift politically for him. Member of the 15th Lok Sabha, former union minister also. Now, shoe fitting all right on the other foot. Milind Deora ji, thank you for your time. Once again on the sidelines of another Prachar commitment.
That's right. I'm not wearing shoes, I'm wearing chappals, but yes. But no, it certainly has been the last 20 years. I've been in politics directly for the last 20 years. I joined politics, I would say, in 2004. I've seen it from childhood. I became an MP at the age of 27 in 2004, once again in 2009. In a way, it's nice to be back in Parliament. I'm now in the Rajya Sabha. Few grey hairs, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's also a little disorienting because it's the first time in 45 years that my family is not fighting an election from South Mumbai. We've been fighting non-stop continuously from 1980 onwards. And for the first time, the body clock is saying that you're not a candidate, but you have to now campaign for other candidates. But you know, ultimately, my goal and my higher purpose of why I enter politics stays the same. So regardless of which shoe you're wearing, taking Mumbai forward, helping Maharashtra grow economically, get stronger economically, working for India, working, I would say, in the larger context for humanity. These are issues that matter to me, and these transcend political ideologies and parties.
May I ask you, did you make the switch hoping to get the ticket from the NDA for Mumbai?
No, not at all. I'll tell you, I mean, there's no secret about it, because when I joined Mr. Shinde, you know, in life sometimes, I always believe, and I've always believed this, that sometimes, you know, ideologies and religion, they unite you, but they also divide you. I've always been a firm believer in ideas over ideologies and spirituality over religion. That to me transcends divisions. That in fact brings people together. And when I met the Chief Minister, he was very clear to me that I would like someone like you to join me. You have the skill set, talent that I require to grow, to expand, to raise the profile of Mumbai, Maharashtra, to attract investments to the city and state, to facilitate infrastructure and other growth in the city. And the only thing that was said to me was, we would want you to be in Parliament. Now, was that the Rajya Sabha route? Was that the Lok Sabha route? Which would come first? All these were, nobody knew what these meant.
Okay.
And ultimately in life, you know, I've been out of, when I was in the Congress, I was out of Parliament for 10 years. I stayed loyal to the party for 10 years without any power, without any prospect of power. I gave back to the party that gave me a lot. I helped sustain the party for the last 10 years during its most challenging decade. But in life, regardless of which profession you're in, whether you're in politics, whether you're a journalist, whether you're somebody working as a salaried employee in a private company, you want to feel valued, respected, recognized for your talent and your hard work. Yes, there was a feeling that when I go here, I will be recognized, I will be valued, and I'll be given an opportunity to work.
So are you being recognized? Are you being valued?
I certainly believe so. And as I said, you know, the recognition can come in many ways. It can come in by means of a post. I was sent to the Rajya Sabha, which is back in Parliament after 10 years. It could be by means of a post to work. It could be by means of someone saying, regardless of your post or power, I like what you bring to the table, go out and work.
And continue to work.
Just continue to work. So those are the things which I think I was missing for the last few years.
But so there, let me ask you, why did the Congress party stop valuing you? Especially in Maharashtra Congress, there's such powerful leaders. And a lot of them have made the shift. You, Sanjay Nirupam, Chavan Saab, Ashok Chavan, so many others who have slowly moved away. It all started from...
You know, to be honest with you, I've actually moved beyond, what should I say? I mean, psychoanalyzing what's right or wrong with the Congress. And I have no ill feelings towards them. It's a party which my family has been associated with, was associated with for 55 years.
Yeah.
Most certainly we got a lot from the party. Most certainly my father and I did a lot for the party. But you know, there are sometimes there are, you know, when when an organization moves away from rewarding merit and moves towards rewarding mediocrity, then someone who is meritocratic, has capabilities, skills, talents, naturally feels a little pushed away. And I don't know what the reasons are for other leaders who left in Maharashtra or around the country.
But for you, it is that from merit, it started moving towards mediocrity.
I think for me, what happened was I tried my best to improve the party from within. I tried my best from 2012, not even 14, when the party went from 210 seats to 44 seats. Even before that, I saw the writing on the wall, tried to improve things. I felt resistance whenever there was a constructive suggestion being put forward. And I felt resistance from a certain group of people who didn't want that feedback to reach certain people, who had a view that, you know, this constructive feedback is dangerous. We should not encourage people to speak about what's right. And it happens in any organization. There's a capture in an organization where it can happen to any non-political organization also, where there's a capture of people who don't care about the prospects of that organization or the future of that organization. They're only interested in their own survival and their own preservation.
That's a very strong statement that you make, Milindji, and I want to ask you this because you had the ear of Rahul Gandhi. You could reach to him directly. So you could not bypass this coterie or grouping of people?
Again, there's no point analyzing that. Maybe it'll be left for my memoirs whenever I pen that. But there was a lot I was able to do. I was able to arrange, going back to 2018, I arranged his his first trip overseas, which had a huge impact in allowing him to position certain ideas. But as I said, these are things which you can try. Sometimes you succeed, sometimes you fail. I found it difficult at some level to be heard and to express myself freely, honestly. I could see certain mistakes that we were making, that the Congress was making at the time, which were going to lead to the downfall of the Congress. I tried to preemptively suggest that we should steer clear of that.
Likes of Manishankar Iyer, Sam Pitroda, the utterances that are coming from them, is this a problem within the Congress which has now become endemic, or are thinking individuals already have decided that they want to shoot themselves in the foot? How do you see this?
Honestly,
and do you agree with a lot of what is being espoused? Because these are all people who claim to have a close ear and their senior voices and advisory roles.
Look, to be fair and to be very balanced, these are individual voices. I don't know if these are party voices, but certainly people who are habitual offenders, people who have a habit of shooting their mouth off and cannot resist the lure, with due respect, of being in the media and of being seen and getting 15 seconds of fame, and for that are willing to say anything regardless of what impact it has in their own organization or their own poll prospects. Those people should be sidelined. Those people, ideally in an organization, their voices should be cut out. Why was it not done? Why is it not done? I don't know. It's one of a long list of many things we tried to suggest.
Right.
But there's many other issues, and when people often criticize those who've left, I always say, I'm the same person I was. My ideology is the same. In 2003, Anand, before I entered politics, in fact, there was an interview before I entered politics. Someone asked me, what do you think of an issue like 370? And at that time, with very limited knowledge, political knowledge, just a 26-year-old who read a little bit about the constitution, the temporary provision, I said, someone who loves Kashmir seems like we should look at removing it. If it can lead to better national security, if it can lead to better economic growth and development for the region. Today I can tell you, as somebody who's visited Kashmir 3 times, not once, 3 times after 370 has been abrogated, I've seen the biggest beneficiary of the abrogation of 370 is the Muslim Kashmiri youth.
Yeah.
The Muslim Kashmiri woman, young woman who's now working. I would never see a woman in the restaurant or in a hotel. Today I see women working in a hotel and restaurant. I see Muslim hotel owners, even though they may have tie-ups with ITCs and other hotels. They are interested in investing more in that state. So why were people deprived? And in fact, many of these issues, CA, Dr. Manmohan Singh as leader of opposition in the Rajya Sabha in 2003, articulating that when Atalji was the Prime Minister, Advaniji was the Deputy Prime Minister of India. Dr. Manmohan Singh in the Rajya Sabha saying religious minorities in Pakistan and Bangladesh should be given citizenship. Who are religious minorities in Bangladesh and Pakistan? But when it happens, you oppose it. So these are issues also where people sometimes have stayed true to what they believe in. I believe in economic reforms. I'm a staunch believer in economic reforms, not for the rich, but for the common person.
Yeah, the have-nots.
When we today look at telecommunications, I was IT Minister of India. All these economic reforms, who is the biggest beneficiary? You and I, the common man on the street. My father, as a finance committee chairman of the Standing Committee of Parliament, worked with then Finance Minister Yashwant Sinha, Congress, BJP, Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji Prime Minister, to pass the insurance bill, which allowed private sector in insurance. Who has gained? LIC has gained. Their revenue has grown. Their market share has obviously shrunk. from 100% to maybe whatever 40% today. But who is the biggest gainer besides LIC and others? The common person. More people have access to insurance. In fact, the common person is being virtually harassed by an insurance company. Take my insurance. Otherwise, they have to run to a state-run monopoly. So I'm a believer in those reforms. I'm a believer in Dr. Manmohan Singh's economics, where 91 when he passed, when Narasimha Rao and Dr. Manmohan Singh undertook economic reforms. But today, that same party is moving away.
So quickly, let me ask you, are you a votary of the Common Civil Code, you think, as part of the direct?
Again, I've always, as old interviews again, where 2004, when I first entered the political fray, when asked about an issue like UCC, even then I said, in fact, 370, I was the first one who tweeted saying it's a good thing. We should be open to the idea. And even UCC, today, what is a secular democracy? If you look at the West, I remember in America, when I was a student in the US, there used to be a raging debate about one particular sect called the Mormons, a group of Protestants, and they were very big in Utah.
Correct.
And they have the Mormon faith, I think, suggested that you could have more than one wife. And many other slightly draconian religious codes which were not in sync with America wanting to become a liberal secular democracy. They abolished that. And today America, whether you're in Utah, or whether you're in California, whether you're in New York or in Rhode Island, the law is the same for everyone. So these are things which, if we want to really move ahead, we should do that. And a UCC is something which even the Hindu right may not be happy about. Right. The Muslim right may not be happy about. The Sikh right may not be happy about. But if you want to build a society where the laws of the land, the constitution is supreme over any religious law, any religious doctrine, where you're allowed to practice your religion, you're allowed to get married according to the traditions of Jain faith, of Hindu faith, of Muslim faith, of Christian faith. You can go to a temple, gurudwara, mosque, church, wherever you want. But once you're married, certain structures are in
the
place.
Contractual framework is uniform
and
for
that's
everybody.
what a truly liberal secular democracy is, where the constitution precedes religion.
So I want to ask you this, Maharashtra, now the Shinde Shiv Sena has got the Dhanush Ban, so they are the real Shiv Sena, but they have a point to prove. Eknath Shinde will have to show his leadership, and he really deserves to lead the Shiv Sena. But it's so complex this time around. Can you also, whose plight is wares in Maharashtra all along, look at the scenario and say, how is it going to unfold?
Maharashtra has seen a lot of stability in its politics for the last 30-40 years. A big disruption happened in 1999, which is 20 years ago, when Sharad Pawar left the Congress. It was a big disruption. But soon after leaving the Congress and fighting against the Congress in 1999 in the Lok Sabha Vidhan Sabha elections which happened together, he joined hands with the Congress and formed a government in the state. The central government was Atal Bihari Vajpayee's government. So that disruption was limited. Yes, you saw people move away from Shiv Sena, you saw Narayan Rane, you saw Raj Thackeray, which I would say was a big disruption in Maharashtra politics. You saw the rise of Raj Thackeray in 2008 and 9.
Chhagan Bhujbal also was there.
Yes, there were many leaders. But 19, what happened when the then Shiv Sena joined hands with the Congress was something which nobody could imagine. As a former congressman, I could not imagine it.
Tectonic shift, no? Ideological.
It was an ideological tectonic shift. It was a tectonic shift where it was even bigger than Congress aligning with Chandrababu Naidu 5 years ago. It was a massive tectonic shift. And that has led to further disruptions. People in NCP were not happy. They went out, led by Ajit Pawar. People in Shiv Sena were very unhappy that people were joining with Congress. They went out under Mr. Shinde's leadership and took away the Shiv Sena, the real Shiv Sena. I'll tell you, people in Congress, including myself, were very unhappy with that. I know people in Delhi to Mumbai who were extremely unhappy, without naming them again, left for my memoirs. Which leaders in Delhi didn't want this to happen? Still don't want it to happen. Because Congress also knew that when Congress has aligned with a party, that party ends up eating the Congress. And this is true of West Bengal. This is true of Delhi. This is true of
Tamil Nadu.
UP. True of Tamil Nadu. In fact, Tamil Nadu and UP, it's been half a century where the Congress has
not been
failed
able to
to
come
revive without being dependent on these regional parties. Delhi with Aam Aadmi Party is a recent example. West Bengal is a recent example. So congressmen were aware of that. But now this disruption has happened. Ultimately, the test will happen on the 4th of June. And I'm confident that this alliance, the Mahayuti, the NDA alliance, is saying we are who we were. We stand for what we stood for. There is more confusion. Yes, there was time in distributing tickets, in agreeing on candidates. But once sorted out, everyone is working harmoniously. Everyone has a common agenda. There's no confusion. I still have a lot of friends in the Congress, in Mumbai and Maharashtra. I know how they are campaigning with the UBT Sena. I know how much confusion there is, how much ideological confusion there is, how much political confusion there is. So if you were to ask me, if you had to, as they say, put money on something, I would certainly say Mahayuti has a very, very good chance of coming very close to retaining their number, I think, of 41 seats in 2019 out of 48 seats in Maharashtra. And you're right, Maharashtra is important. Maharashtra is the second largest state in the country in terms of Lok Sabha seats. So Maharashtra is crucial for the NDA's performance. It's crucial not just for my party's performance, it's crucial for BJP's performance. And the parties are working together to deliver on the ground.
Well, fingers crossed on that. I know they're waiting to get you into the Prachar. Milindji, great conversation, and I look forward to having many more conversations.
Absolutely.
It's the assembly elections next after the 4th of June. You've got to build up to October to December.
In 7 months, right after that, there's assembly also, you're right.
Yeah. So
and there'll be municipal elections, local body elections.
So at that time, you really have to get, you'll be hitting the ground hard, and we will be there in the thick of the action with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good
Thank
to
you
see
so
you.
much.
Take
Thank you.
care.
Thank you. Namaste.
नहीं है जी, देश की जनता का प्यार, यही मेरी बहुत बड़ी शक्ति है जी। देश की जनता के आशीर्वाद, यही बहुत बड़ी पूंजी है। और इसलिए प्रेशर मैं देख रहा हूं कि इंडिया अलायंस में है, क्योंकि उनके इंडिया अलायंस बन ही नहीं पा रहा है। अब बनते ही बनते देखिए केरल में जाके, लेफ्ट उनका सबसे बड़ा साथी
जी जी,
केरल में जाकर के ही उन्होंने उन पर छुरा भोंक दिया, खुद चुनाव लड़ गए। और मैंने पूरे चुनाव में सबसे तीखी आलोचना, सबसे तीखी भाषा
जी
अगर मैंने कहीं सुनी है तो वो मैंने
वायनाड की सीट पे सुनी है,
वायनाड में सुनी है, केरल में सुनी है, जहां कांग्रेस की इतनी भद्दी तरीके से आलोचना हुई और कांग्रेस ने अपने इंडिया अलायंस के साथी के खिलाफ इतनी भद्दी भाषा में बोला।
नमस्कार व्यूअर्स, मैं हूं अमीश देवगन और मेरे साथ इस चुनावी सीजन का सबसे बड़ा, जिसे कहते हैं सबसे बड़े मेहमान है, यानी एक मेगा एक्सक्लूसिव इंटरव्यू देने के लिए हमारे साथ प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी इस समय मौजूद हैं। मोदी जी, आपका अभिनंदन है न्यूज 18 पे। नमस्कार।
नमस्कार भैया, आपके सभी दर्शकों को भी हमारा नमस्कार।
मोदी जी, चौथे चरण की वोटिंग जारी है, 3 चरण संपूर्ण हो चुके हैं।
Is the historic third-term dream achievable? Join me, Shapun Das Gupta, for the most dynamic and distinct coverage. Unrivaled political punditry and the sharpest election analysis. Elections equal CNN News 18.
Co-powered by। ये चुनाव आपको कहां जाता हुआ दिख रहा है? खासतौर पर तेलुगु स्टेट्स में भी वोटिंग है।
पहले 3 चरण के जो चुनाव हुए हैं, उससे मैं साफ देख रहा हूं कि कांग्रेस पार्टी कहो या उसके साथी कहो
जी,
सबके सब एक प्रकार से दिशाहीन नजर आते हैं। अब देखिए, आपको कहीं पर भी इंडिया अलायंस नजर नहीं आएगा। वो नेता नहीं तय कर पा रहे हैं, वो एजेंडा तय नहीं कर पा रहे हैं। उनको लगता है कि मोदी का घोर विरोध, मोदी को गाली गलौज,
जी,
उसी से उनका काम चल जाएगा और वो उसी के आधार पर
जी
चुनाव जीतना चाहते हैं। देश, इतना बड़ा देश,
जी,
आज खास करके जो नौजवान मतदाता है,
जी,
वो ये हमेशा सोचता है कि भाई आखिरकार इतने बड़ा देश, इतनी विविधताएं, ऐसा कौन नेता है
जी
जिसको संभाल पाए।
This is CNN News 18 and Federal Bank Prime Time Studio.
A very warm welcome to Brass Tacks. I'm Akanksha Swaroop and we are coming to you live from the CNN News 18 and Federal Bank Prime Time Studio. Now, on the eve of filing his nomination, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's mega roadshow in Kashi has not only showcased the grandeur of Varanasi but also presented a glimpse of mini India, marking Modi's show of strength. And in attendance are lakhs of BJP cadre and Modi supporters. The minister, who was welcomed with the blowing of conches and beats of dhols and damroos here, has also sought blessings from Baba Vishwanath. This as he seeks a third consecutive term from the seat that will go to polls on the 1st June in the 7th and last phase of the Lok Sabha elections. Is the Bharatiya Janata Party moving through the 2024 elections with a healthy lead? All the questions about its performance have left the field open. As the NDA emerged as the powerhouse which can expand the saffron footprint in the east and the south, can the BJP gain the advantage of alliance partners and boost its presence in these new catchment areas for a pan-India expansion? And can the India bloc overcome infighting and pose a real challenge to the Modi juggernaut? While the opposition says the BJP is overconfident, that's why on PM's Varanasi Blitz today, we pose the question, is Mission 400 Paar on